Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So Ethereum has started some kind of a pullback after a possible 5-wave move to the upside. Here I'm talking about the micro level. Quick explanation or quick reminder, I should rather say, of the larger time frame. Ethereum could have bottomed, obviously, right? I mean, it doesn't look as convincing as on the Bitcoin chart. But we have a potential low in place in this B wave. I mean, that's the daily chart. I covered that yesterday in a little bit more depth, with a little bit more detail. It is entirely possible that Circle B bottomed, and that we're now on our way higher in Circle C. And I need, however, a little bit more evidence for that. Okay, for example, a break, especially on the daily chart, a break above that previous B wave high would help at around 3,750. But either way, whether the yellow, short-term more bearish scenario, or the white, short-term more bullish scenario is playing out, in both cases, we are still watching for higher prices. Okay, so that's very important to say. It's very important to realize that either way, I am watching for higher prices. Now, in the very short term, though, we need to take a look at the microstructures to understand better what's going on. So I suggest we now take a look at the micro patterns on the smaller time frame chart, and then can take a look at the relevant patterns that are developing there. Looking at the Ethereum short-term chart, there are two scenarios I'm tracking. So the first one is a 5-wave move up. This 5th wave, though, was very extended, but it wasn't too extended. It started to look a little bit like that yesterday, but it did not reach the 100% extension. So I'm happy to call that still a possible 5-wave move. But I can't rule out it's an ABC structure. If it's an ABC structure because of the length of that last move up, then we just have to consider that white wave 1, which would be wave 1 of the larger C wave I just showed you in white. This one. Okay, so it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That this wave 1 is a leading diagonal pattern. Leading diagonal means the subwaves are ABC structures. It's not so much of, it just means the move up could be a bit of a bumpy ride. But I can call it 5 waves. It's just a very extended 5th wave, but it's valid. Bitcoin also kind of extended its 5th. The thing is, Solana, for example, is taking off directly. Right? We have to consider that. So I'm always considering that when we are entering a bullish market phase, which we might be doing right now, if I look at the altcoin sector and Bitcoin, Ethereum, we have to consider that pullbacks might be shallow. You can't predict that. All I can do at this stage, because we don't really have much data for this pullback yet, I can highlight the support area, and I can highlight that as long as we are holding the 3033 level, this assumption, whether it's the blue count or white, it doesn't really matter. It's just the microstructure, and it will have an impact along going forward. But it doesn't have an impact on this correction. So if it's a 5-wave move up, we should see a further impulse overall. If it's the white count, this would be a diagonal, and it doesn't matter in the short term because for both, we are now tracking a wave 2 pullback, and it needs to hold this support area between 3,033 and 3,251 USD. So this really needs to hold this area, and it could be that wave 2 is shallow. Now, should we get a break above the 3,480 level, which is the Wednesday high, well, I assume we are going up directly to maybe 3,800, 3,900 plus. Okay, so please be aware of that. For now, I am watching a pullback. Whenever we are entering a market phase that's potentially bullish in crypto, it's always like, we're getting a bit nervous because the pullbacks could remain very, very shallow, right? So you just have to be ready for that. So there's no guarantee to test support. It's probable. And normally we say that, from an Elliott wave point of view, if this is really a wave 2, I mean, first of all, it should unfold as a nicely defined ABC structure. It's not a guarantee, but it could be like A, B, C, right? Often they would reach the area between the 50% and the 38.2 retracement between 3,186 and 3,251. We'll see if that happens. I mean, if the next move up is not corrective, but instead goes directly, that might be our third wave. So either way, we're obviously going to pay close attention to the microstructures. Sometimes they are not so well defined, and we just need to understand that pullbacks can be shallow, but they often reach these Fibonacci support levels. We first of all have to get a little bit more price data for this micro pullback. And once we have a low in place, I will communicate a target for the next move up, which would be circle wave 3, for which I can't really give you a target yet because we have no evidence that a wave 2 is in place. But that will communicate it throughout the day. So I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.